In this video, I'm going to teach you how to create YouTube titles so good that you can't stop going viral. And these are the tips I've implemented to help grow one channel from 0 to 300,000 subscribers and help another channel hit a record 11 million views in a single month. So I know these tips work, and make sure you stick around until the end of the video because I'm going to be giving away a free AI prompt which will make creating viral YouTube titles so much easier. Now, why is the title of your YouTube video so important? Is it even important at all? Well, the short answer is yes, because the title is the first interaction with the viewer. And if you can't get the viewer to click on the video in the first place, it doesn't actually matter how good your video is. They're not going to be watching it, which is why I've come up with my own sort of Pareto's principle for YouTube videos, which is that 80% of the success of your video comes down to the packaging, which is the thumbnail and the title, and 20% comes down to the video. So it's pretty clear that the title of your video is definitely something that's important and shouldn't be overlooked. So what determines whether someone actually clicks on your title in the first place? Well, people make split-second decisions on whether a video is worth watching based on how the title makes them feel. They are clicking based on emotional reactions, not logical evaluation. And what I mean by this is that people aren't looking at the title of a video and trying to weigh up the pros and cons on whether it's worth their time or whether they'll find value out of the video. They're making a decision in less than a second on whether they should click on that video, which means that your title has to stand out among hundreds of other titles on their recommended page. So here are the 5 reasons why people aren't clicking on your titles in the first place. Number 1. Not creating a curiosity gap. The most clicked titles create what psychologists call a curiosity gap, which is where you're revealing enough information to the viewer so that they understand the context of the video, but are withholding the most crucial information that makes them want to click. And the way you create a curiosity gap is by hinting at information inside the video without revealing the big payoff. This creates an unresolved tension that is compelling the viewer to click, and by doing this, you're exploiting the human curiosity and need for closure. So let's take a look at some examples of titles that don't create a curiosity gap and then change so they do create a curiosity gap. And here's the first one. Checking my phone in the morning ruined my focus. Now this doesn't create a curiosity gap because it's revealing everything that the video is going to be about, which means that the viewer isn't going to be intrigued enough to click. But if we were to change this to create a curiosity gap, it could be something like, this one habit ruined my focus. This creates curiosity and mystery because you don't know what that one habit is that is ruining the focus. And the only way you find this out is by clicking and watching the video, which is then where you reveal that the habit that is ruining your focus is checking your phone. And another example where you're not creating a curiosity gap could be not communicating enough ruined most relationships. Again, it's revealing everything, which makes it boring. But if we were to change that to create a curiosity gap, we would change it to something like the biggest reason most relationships fail. You're revealing the information about what the video is about, why most relationships fail, but you're withholding the crucial information, which is why most relationships fail. And how does the viewer find this out? Well, they have to click and actually watch the video. Number 2, they are too long. Now, as we said earlier, you have less than 1 second to capture the viewer's attention. So if your title takes too long to read, they're just going to scroll past without even considering it. Why is this the case? Well, because long titles overwhelm the viewer with too much information, creating mental overload because they are receiving so much information when they're scrolling on their homepage. And if a title's taken them longer than a second to read, well, they're just not going to be interested. This is why you need to keep your titles under 55 characters and make each word fight for its place. And the other reason why we have this magic number of 55 characters is because titles any longer than 55 characters also run the risk of being cut off. And a cut off title just confuses viewers because they won't get the full context of the video, and confusion always equals no clicks. So let's take a look at the title of this video, for example. Mont Blanc Solo, summiting Western Europe's highest peak, 4,810 meters, September 2022. It's way too long and there's many words in there that just aren't necessary. So what you first have to do is identify the most important words that give the best context for the video, which in this case would be solo hiking Mont Blanc. The other words like summiting Western Europe's highest peak, not necessary because a lot of people already know that Mont Blanc is one of the tallest mountains in Europe. And September 22 is also just unnecessary words that don't add anything to what the context of the video is about. So if I was to rewrite this title, I would name it something like Solo Hiking Mont Blanc for 3 days. With this title, you're getting the context of what the video is about, and by adding in the 3 days, you're also adding more curiosity to the story. Number 3, too generic. Now, a good title creates curiosity or promises value for the viewer. But a generic title does neither of those. And as we said earlier, you're competing against millions of other videos. Why should the viewer click on yours? You have to think about that. So what you have to do is think about what sets your video apart and convey that in the title. Remember, specificity equals intrigue. Now, let's take a look at some examples of some generic titles and how I would reframe them to make them more specific and more intriguing. So as we can see here, a generic title could be something like My Daily Routine, a type of video that many creators have done. But just naming a video My Daily Routine is boring, because what sets that apart from every other daily routine video? So if I was to change it to make it specific and more intriguing, I would name it something like My 5 a.m. routine that doubled my productivity. Another example of a generic title could be How I Make Money. But if I was to reframe that to make it more specific, again, this is all depending on what the video is about, I could name it something like How I Make $10,529 a month working 2 hours a day. And again, another example of a generic title, How I Grew My Arms. Well, if I was to reframe that to make it more specific, could be something like How I Grew My Biceps 6 inches in 3 months. I'm sure as you are able to recognize yourself, those specific titles are way more intriguing and make you want to click a lot more than the generic titles. Number 4. You're creating them last. The other day I was watching this podcast and, well, I found out that most top YouTubers actually create their titles and thumbnails before recording the video. And I'm not going to lie, at first I was confused because all I thought was, how can you create a thumbnail and title before you've even finished the video? But then I understood why they do this. Well, first off, if your title and thumbnail aren't engaging, the video isn't going to get clicked. End of. So you should start with what matters most. Because if you're creating the thumbnail and title after filming, it can just lead to a rushed concept. And one of the most important reasons why is actually to do with the intro of your video. The viewer clicks on your video because of the thumbnail and title, which means your intro has to deliver on what the thumbnail and title promised. Otherwise, the viewer is going to get confused and just click off. So when you're creating the thumbnail and title first, it means you're able to create a better intro for your video because you're able to deliver on what the thumbnail and title says, which means viewers are way more likely to watch your video longer. Number 5, not studying what works. YouTube is a massive spreadsheet of data of what works on the platform. So if you want to get better at writing titles, all we need to do is analyze the titles of top performing videos, understand why they work, and then apply what you learn to your own videos. And when I was going through a phase of trying to create better titles, this is something that I did. Your favorite YouTubers weren't immediately experts at writing titles. They became experts by studying what's already worked on the platform. So let's analyze the titles of some top performing videos together and see why they work. First example is this video by Mark Tilbury titled, I'm 57, if you're in your 20s, please watch this. And it got 4.3 million views. So I would say this is a video that performed pretty well. And the reason why this video performed so well is because of how the title and thumbnail work together. So first off, what do we learn about this video from the title? Well, we learn that this is a video targeted at 20-year-olds. But this thumbnail and title is so intriguing because it challenges viewers' beliefs by saying to 20-year-olds, you have no time left. And why is this so intriguing? Well, because 20-year-olds are so used to people saying they have loads of time. This creates cognitive dissonance that can only be resolved by clicking and watching the video. Another reason why this thumbnail and title is so good is because there is a big contrast between the age of the speaker, who is 57, which we learn from the title, and the target audience, 20-year-olds, again, which we learn from the title. This intrigues viewers due to him being older, which is implying he has valuable knowledge to share, which makes the viewer want to click to learn this knowledge. He also creates a curiosity gap as the information about why a 20-year-old must watch this video has been withheld. We can only find out this information by clicking. And by using the term, please watch this in the title, this is also creating another sense of urgency. The viewer is suddenly going, why is he telling me I must watch this? This must be something important. The second example is this video by a channel called Leafy Street with the title, I bought the illegal fat frogs 60-day experiment. Now, the first reason why this title works so well is because of a term called the forbidden fruit psychology. By the use of the word illegal in the title, it's suggesting that these frogs are somehow prohibited, which is tapping into our natural desire to see what we're not supposed to see. We're intrigued by this. The other reason why this title works so well is because of the specific time frame that he's added, which is creating stakes to the video. By putting 60-day experiment, it's giving the content a clear structure and is implying commitment, which suggests to viewers that we're going to see a complete journey unfold in the video. And the third reason why this title is so intriguing is quite literally because because of the term fat frogs. It makes the title very clickable because it's unexpected and quirky, and it makes it stand out in a sea of typical pet content. And this title creates multiple curiosity gaps that can only be resolved by clicking and watching. What are fat frogs? Why are they illegal? What happens over 60 days? For me, I think it's no surprise that this video has almost got 10 million views. And the third example is this video by Ali Abdul titled "Why You're Always Tired: 7 Myths Ruining Your Sleep." Now, straight away, he speaks directly to the viewer's pain point, why you're always tired. This makes them feel personally called out and creates immediate relevance. And also, fatigue is a universal problem. It's something that almost everyone has experienced at some point in their life, which gives this title a large total addressable market. And also, starting the title with the word why promises viewers will finally understand the root cause of their tiredness, which is satisfying curiosity and offering relief. But you can only satisfy this curiosity by clicking and watching. And another reason is because of the actual format of the title itself. It's what I like to call a problem and solution format. The title has identified a problem, being tired, and implies actionable solutions in the second part, debunking myths that ruin your sleep. And finally, the term ruining your sleep is creating a sense of urgency because it's suggesting viewers are actively harming themselves without even knowing it. So it's making them feel like they have to click this video because they need to resolve this issue. So now that we've learned how to create better YouTube titles and studied a few for ourselves, now it's time to actually move on to the AI prompt that I've created to help you create better YouTube titles yourself. And actually created this prompt by collecting a bunch of top performing video titles and asking AI to create a prompt based on why these video titles performed so well. So if we go into ChatGPT, I'm just going to paste in the prompt now, and all you have to do is click enter. And you obviously don't have to use ChatGPT, you can use any sort of AI model that you like. What the AI will then do is ask you what the video is about so it can create titles specific to what your video is about. So what I'm actually going to ask it to do is create a YouTube title based on my previous video, which if you haven't watched it, it was a video about a YouTuber making over $40,000 a month as a pickleball player. So as you can see here, my video is about how a YouTuber is making $40,000 plus a month teaching people how to play pickleball. So let's see what it can come out with. And as you can see, it's come out with some pretty decent options. I like this first one. I found a YouTuber making $40,000 per month playing pickleball. And I also really like this one, number 9, how pickleball became a $40,000 per month YouTube business. So it'll come out with a few different variations, and then you can basically pick the ones you like or use it to come up with some inspiration for your own. So if you want to get this AI prompt for yourself, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. And that's everything. Now you know how to create viral titles for your YouTube videos. If you want to learn more about how to build a profitable YouTube channel, I have a free email course where for the next 2 weeks, I'll send you daily emails on how to improve your YouTube channel. So if you want to sign up to that, the link will be in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.